Assalamualaikum. Today, our topic is a brief session on short story writing. Short story is a work of fiction with its particular key elements and usually of 1000 to 20,000 words. Now we have flash fiction, that means story of less than 1000 words. Key elements of short story. First of all, setting. It means time and era and location. It tells us about the time or era when the story has been written. It also tells us about the location of the setting. So these two elements make setting. Theme. That means underlying idea, message, or intention of the writer in the plot. Next is plot. It means a sequence of events in a story, conflict or tension. Basically, conflict is the soul of plot. It means issue that is going to be resolved at the end of the story. Characters, personages, moving the plot. Resolution, conclusion of the story. Next to this we have structure of plot. We can easily find that there are three parts of every plot. One is beginning, next middle, and finally end. In the phase of beginning we have two elements, exposition and conflict. In phase of exposition, basically the writer introduces main characters and the conflict they are going to have. And in the next phase, that is middle, we find the rising action and it ends at the climax. In the final phase, that is end, we find falling action. Basically, falling action means the start of the resolution of the conflict, and towards the end of the plot there is resolution. This is the end of the story. It may be happy, may be tragic, so it may have mixed feelings. We have different types of characters, major characters and minor characters. While talking of the major characters, we can easily say that these characters are usually round. Round characters are those which are changed with the passage of plot, with the passage of time. These are different at the beginning of the story, and at the end of the story their attitudes, behaviors are somehow changed. Among major characters we have protagonist, hero or heroine. Then we have antagonist, villain. Sporting characters. Sporting characters are of two classes. One group is a sporting protagonist to achieve his goal in the story, and other group is sporting antagonist to create hurdles in the way of protagonist. Then we have minor characters. These are mostly static. It means these are unchanged. These are having same attitude, same behavior from start to the end of the story. There are certain literary tips for writing a short story. For example, the writer needs to start his story with a strong hook. It means he must have a strong idea to grip the attention of readers or viewers, and in that story he must have created conflict, because conflict is a soul. It's a soul of story, soul of plot, and that conflict is going to be resolved at the end of the story. Characters must be according to the need and demand of the plot. Flash forwards, it means the writer must give clues of future regarding some characters, key characters, major characters. Flashback. Here, the writer is supposed to give some, uh, he is supposed to throw light on past events. Finally, leave room for interpretation. There must be flexibility at the in the story so that reader may have his own interpretation about the plot, about the story, and we have certain linguistic techniques for a short story. Show. It means that writer is supposed to show the happening of events instead of telling the events. Dialogues must be lifelike. It means this may be lengthy, crispy, incomplete, etc. Then activize. It's the demand of story to use activized dialogues because characters are themselves talking to each other. Use of literary devices, which are also called figures of speech. And these figures of speech are basically the cosmetics of the language of the story. There are so many figures of speech: simile, metaphor, personification, symbolism, etc. We have just two to discuss here. Simile. It means the use of words like or as for comparison between two different objects. Suppose he is brave like a lion. Metaphor. Here we have the comparison of two objects without using words like as. He is a lion. So when there is a comparison with the help of words like as, it is simile. And when the comparison is without using such words, it is metaphor. Last but not least, the writer needs to edit his story repeatedly in order to refine its language. Finally, we have conclusion. Short story writing is also a skill to be learnt and practiced. Thank you very much.